Hey there, what is up, plant community? So today I'm going to be doing a garden tour, more of the tropical aesthetic garden tour. Of course, I do all my conifers and everything separate. This is going to be more of things that are in the ground and how they're doing. So we'll start over here with the rose bushes, I guess. Now, the rose bushes had a major dieback, and I think it's just because they didn't get proper dormancy like they were supposed to. They kept wanting to grow, and then frost would hit, and it was like, oh, okay, now we can't grow. And then, it'd just be on and off, and that cycad fell. I'll have to pick them up later when the winds die down. So yeah, I think it was really making it weak. Plus, it's always constantly hit with pests. And, so yeah, that kind of puts a damper in things. It died. Most of these rose bushes died all the way back to the ground. This one surprisingly did better than that one. That one's more established than that one. That one's been there for years versus this one. And yeah, that one just completely died back. One trunk of the original trunk managed to survive. But I've been keeping them cut back, trying to keep them well trimmed. And they seem to be doing good right now. Just hopefully we don't have a Arctic blast again, because I think that's really what did them in, is because they were already weak. So Arctic blast did not help. All right, let's go to the walkway now. The Cordylines Australis, I'm sorry, Hawaiian Thai plants, or just Cordylines, seem to be doing good. I have him on my mind for some reason. But yeah, seem to be doing good. Each one has their individual growth. Each one is doing their own little thing. They're doing really good, really growing now, really starting to take off, which sucks because I think after July we only got 2 more months in the growing season, and yeah, I'll have to dig them up before frost and put them in a pot. But let's not let's not talk about winter, right? Winter's kind of depressing. All my daylilies are starting to die out. I got to cut these off because these produce seed pods, and they're real invasive here in Indiana, and I don't want them to be invasive. It's really the orange ones, more the hybridized ones I don't really see. So I think they hybridize those specifically not to be invasive, but still I don't want to take that chance and have them getting out of control. And then over here we have my Alocasia. Then we got a little one right there starting to pop up. I removed them from the bananas just because I feel like they would be getting too much water, and I did lose quite a bit of bulbs because I got some bulbs. It was a pack of 5, and I cured the fungus that was growing on them. But yeah, I didn't want to get that fungus going again around that banana with them, so I took them away and put them in an area where it's a little bit more dry, but not too dry. This guy's really starting to take off too now. Next year, though, I think what I am going to do is I am definitely going to take them, and I'm going to start them a bit early in the spring and try to get them going that way, because it seems like if not, they take forever to get going, and then I'm just stuck with little alocasias like this, and I want to get them, nice, big, lush, and tropical. So yeah, that's something I definitely want to try to get my hands on next year. And then we'll go over here to my tropical planting. Of course, I wanted things to be nice, lush, and tropical this year, so I kind of squeezed things in to give it that look. So here we have my big elephant ears. They took a bit of damage. See that there? They took a bit of damage, not by the wind, but we actually had hell, and I was like, oh no. But yeah, that happened. This is a pup that's attached to this guy. This is my main trunking alocasia. You can see he's producing a little leaf right now. Then he has a pup right here. And those are producing lovely, nice pups. I want them to kind of come over the edge here, which will be very nice. These are my variegated calla lilies. So yeah, I want to make sure here. Nope, that's a calla lily. I get those all mixed up all the time. So this is my canna lily. Variegated canna lily. Doing really good. It's getting really tall. This must be one of the species that I really like that gets tall in a year and gives a nice tropical lush effect, which I really like. And I'm happy I went with something different rather than the red variety that everybody plants. So yeah, I'm definitely happy with that. And then of course, I do have the red variety of canna lilies. Haven't grown much this year. Don't know why really, but yeah, hopefully those get going soon. Because if not, of course, I will have to dig them up. And I might not even dig them up. I heard that they can survive a zone 6 if you just heavy mulch them, or if you like put them a foot deeper than the pot, but I don't know. I kind of like digging them up because I don't want them to spread too much to where it just takes over the garden, and that's something I kind of worry about with the Musa Baju. And then here we have a flower. This flower was supposed to give a tropical effect, but they never really took off, and they're just now really growing. And yeah, they're supposed to give off some tropical flowers. I just kind of kept them in there, and they seem to survive the winter, which I didn't think they would. They're labeled as a perennial, so I'm always surprised when they survive, so I just kind of keep them in there. They're like survivors. Oh no, what a bee. Ooh, he's all black too. I'm not sure what kind of bee you are, so I'm staying away. Anyways, this here is my giant calla lily, Hari to a zone 5. I had to replant one, had to plant my emergency one because, yeah, my other one started to rot and I had to dig that up and try to save the bulb. Now I have the bulb I can plant in case this one doesn't make it, so, yeah. Yeah, things tend to happen. And then here we have my lemon gum tree, or also known as lemon eucalyptus. I actually repotted this about maybe 2 weeks ago. It's already got roots at the bottom of the pot. I'm like, wow. Just wow. I'm not sure I can keep up with you. You're just growing too fast for me, and I might just have to treat him like an animal. I don't want to do that, but yeah, he's just growing, man. I just can't keep up with that. That's just too fast. And then here we have my other little plants here. These are, let me get that tag out of there. Citronella. Mosquito repellent, huh? So it doesn't really give the scientific name, but there you go. We just call them citronellas. They have a nice little lemon scent. I guess they do bloom during the fall. I put them in here actually as a plant to use whenever mosquitoes are around, because I have the money for tiki torch fluid. But my mother was actually nice enough that she found some at a store. It was like a bargain store, and she bought me some tiki torch fluid. So now we don't really have to use those to rub on our skin, because it has a little lemon scent that mosquitoes hate. And I have 2 of them. I have one over here. I'll just go up front. Well, go over to the other side. And I got one right over here, and it's getting entangled by a plant that should not be in here. But yeah, it's really growing out too. It's gotten quite tall from what you can see down there. Try to back the camera up a bit. So yeah, doing good. I think it likes a little bit of the shade that these cannas provide. And then we have my white bird of paradise. I went ahead, put him in the ground. Just because he needs some regeneration, it seemed like. But yeah, hell wasn't kind on him either. That's his newest leaf. This is his oldest. Then this here is definitely his oldest. Old leaves. But yeah, that's his newest. Hasn't been torn up by the winds yet. Winds seem to be getting a little stronger. But yeah, he seems to be doing, got some weeds in here. Now, how am I going to do a garden tour and not even get the weeds out? But anyways, yeah, I'm hoping that eventually I can keep him going to where he actually trunks and gets nice and big and, yeah, be a nice little tropical effect. Not sure if these will come off. I had one that kind of did come off, but that's not coming off. I don't want to force anything. But yeah, seems to be doing good. And then over here we have my cold hardy banana, my Musa Baju. For a while I couldn't figure out why it was growing so slow. And I went over to my local nursery, Northern Tropics, and she said, yeah, they'll grow kind of slow because when you plant them in the ground, they're not really worried as much about growing as they are more so worried about putting their roots down so they can have an established root system to survive the cold. So, yeah, you know what? I respect that, so I'll just let it do its thing, and yeah, seems to be doing good, though. Some leaves are a bit damaged, like this leaf from the hell. This one was the newest leaf, also got hit from hell. This is the newest one that came out. Was not hit from hell. Oh no, little ladybug. I'm so sorry. I did not mean to knock you out of the banana tree. Little safe haven for him there. But yeah, cold hardy banana. Otherwise, from the tears from the hell that we got, seems to be doing just fine and is growing. Probably won't get no clumps from it unless I let it completely die back to the ground, but I don't want it to get too bad, which is why I gave it a little bit of space right there to let some clumps out. But yeah, otherwise than that. And then over here we have my Red and City banana. Not really a banana, but rather a banana mimic. It's looking really good. All the flowers are doing good. Comment below if you know what they are. I don't particularly remember what the names of them are. And then over here we have my gingers. And all my gingers are growing really well with the banana. So we'll have, stuttered there for a minute. We'll have some red flowers, dark red foliage mixed with some pink ginger flowers. There's another ginger right there. So yeah, that'll look nice. The Red and City banana is growing like it should be. Hopefully it gets up to my chest this year like it did last year. Kind of messed up last year because I thought it had a thick enough pseudostem to actually survive. It did not. So yeah, I was stuck starting all over with the thing. It was literally smaller than when I had it. So I'm just happy it survived and it did really well for me and it's continuing to do well for me. But yeah, I'm going to treat it as a house plant for next year. I mean this year for sure, because yeah, I don't want it to die back like that again. That was horrible. I want it to get nice and tall, and I really want it to be a showpiece plant out here. And of course, some of the leaves are ripped, damaged, and that was due to hell. This was due to storm. That was definitely due to hell. Hell kind of messed up a lot of the plants out here that was really out in the open or just didn't have the tough foliage. That kind of has soft foliage. And then we'll go over here to my Rose of Sharons. Of course, this never had a problem. Only issue I had was when people was out here working on the roofs and they kind of threw their shingles down, didn't really pay attention, and kind of snapped the front of it, which I had to tie back up, and it's healing up now, so it's doing good. Glad it's budding. Glad that area that I had to tie up, I'll actually show you guys in there. That little area right there, I had to tie up. So yeah, I'll have to eventually get rid of that. And then over here we have my gold mop cypress. It turns nice and yellow in the winter time. It's an evergreen. It's really a cedar, if I had to be honest. The foliage doesn't match that of a cypress. That there is a cypress. This is a cedar. A lot of people grow them here as shrubs. Not very many people actually just let them grow normally and naturally. So, and last winter I thought it was a goner because it definitely had a lot of brown foliage and it just did not do well for me. I thought I was going to have to replace it, and I was hoping I wouldn't have to, but yeah, it seems to be doing really well now, and it's gotten a whole... Oh, back off. Sorry. And it's gotten a whole lot of new growth on it. So, yeah, still some dead in here. You can see where there's still some dead. But, yeah, long as there's some green, it has a very good chance of surviving and hopefully surviving the winter. I heard the little ones, though, they kind of do tend to suffer whenever they're new and not really big plants because they're not all that well established yet. And they're very slow growing. So, which I don't mind, because if I was to grow any trees in the ground, let's just say government housing would have a conniption, and yeah, I don't want to deal with all that, because they already don't like that I even have that in the ground. They don't even like that I have palm trees in the front. They don't like any of that. If they could, I'm pretty sure they'd tell me to get rid of it all. They don't even like that I have trees in pots rather than in the ground. But see, that's the thing. The rules said no trees in the ground. They never say anything about trees in a pot. But yeah, they don't even like me having that. Really, they kind of frown on that. But oh well, it's just their rules. It's not them actually saying that they hate it. It's more that they have to do their job, and I respect that. They got a job to do, we got a job to do. We just got to kind of work together if we're going to live out here and survive. All right, now I'm going to go to the back. All right, we're in the back now. Right here I have a little ginger that I planted. Also got a bit damaged from the hail. Nice little peak ginger. And then we have my grass. We call it fountain grass here, but it's not really fountain grass. Its nickname is cane grass. I don't remember the scientific name, but it too got damaged and ripped up from hell. But yeah, it's surviving. It's doing really well, doing good. And then over here we have my Cordyline australis. I am going to attempt to try to protect it this year. I'm going to kind of use a cheap way of protection. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to get like a bucket or something put over it, and I use hot hands and basically put it in there. Hopefully that'll work. If not, oh well, ain't much I can really do living out here. And with electric being so high, I can't really afford to zone push and do extreme zone pushing. And then here we have my other eucalyptus, which I planted in the ground. It seems to be growing, still kind of growing slow. Damaged leaf right there from the hell. And then over here we got my cold hardy hibiscus. This is without a doubt my first well, not my first, but like my first successful cold hardy hibiscus that has not died, doing well. Because last time I tried hibiscus, way before I had the YouTube channel, I planted two of them. One was red, one was pink. Died. Completely just died. They dried up and died. I don't know what I was doing wrong, but they died. So yeah, not wasn't a happy camper about that, especially since they were quite big. But yeah, I think he'll survive. He seems to be more established now. And then over here, we have my red star, Dracena. Seems to be doing alright. We got a little bit of scorch here. And that scorch happened to be from, just to be thrown out there. Like, I had to do something to regenerate that trunk. I didn't have soil, so we'll probably dig him up and put him back in the pot and go from there again. Then we have these guys. Of course, I always forget their name, but I'm sure somebody knows their name. Doing quite well. Then the guy in the back right there, he's starting to come up. Some little ones right there you guys can't really see. And then over here we have my hosta and my hydrangea. I definitely would like to dig up the hosta next year, put him more right here, so that way the fern can breathe, because the hosta's just taking over the fern. And keep my hydrangea kind of in the back, and kind of have a little bit more room out here for things, really, is what I need. Because I'm working with a little space. If I could garden more out here, I really would. But guys, I live in government housing, so I'm limited to how much land I can actually dig up and garden in. Because trust me, if it was up to me, there just wouldn't be no grass. Everything would just look like a jungle or desert area. But yeah. And then, oh, that fell. Of course that did. Didn't even know it fell. So here we have my variegated grass. Kind of crushed right now, but it'll bounce back. Uh, they're good here. They're nice and hardy here. They like shade more than anything. They can't really handle the sun. I think that's partially due to the variegation. Here we have this guy right there, which hummingbirds really like. The name of this guy is Salvia. And yeah, he's doing good. He's bushed out a bit. They'd probably like a bit more sun, but this is what I can give him. And then this guy right here was up in a tree, but the strong winds must have knocked him down, so he could just go right there until I can get a chance to put him back in the tree. And then over here, we have my ostrich fern, which is a native to Indiana. It's a little damaged. Don't know how it got damaged, but yeah, it's a native to Indiana. Likes nice and moist soil, so I planted it here. Try to implement natives if it fits my aesthetic, if I can. And then we have Iris, which gives off a beautiful tropical bloom. Starting to think I might have to cut it back because it's getting a little intrusive here on this guy. And this guy is, aha, it is a Heuchera Silver Lord. You will actually see a lot of purple Heucheras here. I put it there because even though it has small leaves, it kind of gives me a tropical feel. So I was like, you know what? Why not? And the yellow flowers, they died. I think they just got shaded out or was just taken out by competition around here with the plants I put in there. And then here we have another hosta, also damaged from hail. Here we have my native Christmas fern, also native here, but just like the ostrich fern, is also endangered. Here we have my more yellow variegated hosta, looking great. Then over here, we have my other native fern. I think it's doing great because it has two trees here shading it out. So it's doing better than that guy. And yeah, it's also another Christmas fern. If you guys don't know, the reason why they call them Christmas ferns is because they will actually stay green until Christmas. And then they finally die back to the ground, and that's just when they can't take no more. Then they'll go into a bit of dormancy, and then they'll come back. So, yeah, very cool fern. Really love that fern. And of course, my hostas are blooming. Hummingbirds love these guys. And then here's my other big ol' hosta that I've grown for years. Also kind of damaged due to hail. But that's to be expected. So yeah, my cane grass. That stuff's getting tall, man. Little tree that volunteered its time. I've been trimming it back. We're not really supposed to have trees here. But yeah, I've just been treating it kind of like a bonsai tree. I'm just going to keep trimming you back. Keep trimming you back. You get too thick, I'm going to trim you back. But yeah, hosta's definitely great for a tropical Aztec. And there's all kinds of different hostas you can go with. This grass too, if you can find it, they have variegated versions of it. Does really good out here. Really nice. I'm thinking that I might have to even cut some of this grass back, dig some of it up, and maybe put in a pot and try to sell it or make more of it, because I don't like how it kind of angles itself like that. I like the upright look. I don't mind that look at all, but it starts kind of curving like that. That's why I get a little iffy. I'm sure you could trim it back, because I've seen it happen when frost hits it, where frost will hit the leaves, and where some foliage survives, it will actually bud from there. So I'm sure I could just trim it back, but I might just do that because it'd be easier than just digging it up. But yeah, you know, if you don't want bamboo, this is something you could add to the garden. Then, if you don't want bamboo, you know, something that will just completely take over and get thick and you have to thin out. I mean, not that you won't have to do any work to it. You'll still have to do work to it, but it just doesn't take over like bamboo. But yeah, guys, other than that, that's really about it of the garden tour. If I had a bigger, more, better garden, pretty sure I'd have to do a longer and better video. Especially if I could plant my Trachycarpus in the ground. But again, they won't allow it. I'm lucky I didn't say anything about the cold hardy banana when I showed it to them. But I think the only reason why I got away with that is because I told them it'll just die back to the ground, you know. But yeah. Otherwise than that, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you enjoyed this garden tour, and definitely keep it real, guys, and keep it tropical.